Paul actually purchased the course, right? You purchased it.
Yep.
So,
Thanks, Paul.
yeah, so
That's
thank you.
awesome.
So,
It's no brainer. No brainer. You know, for 129, you can't go wrong. Like I was trying to equate it to people. It's like, you know, don't get a pizza a couple of weekends, and you got the
it's
course.
almost that.
I mean,
For a
seriously,
year.
It is almost.
And I like one thing that I got, because I did a poll about it. Sorry to interrupt, but like I said, how much would you pay for a course? And a lot of people pick the lowest price possible. And I think it's because of, you know, places like Udemy and stuff like that. But what a lot of you guys don't understand about Udemy, majority, like 80% of the courses, they're beginner level, and they don't take you from start to finish to getting a job. That's what a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and I have over 500 courses on Udemy. I only maybe took like 15 courses out of those 500, and I'm not making this up. I could bring both my accounts and show you. I'm not going to waste time today. But all those other courses, they're just repeats of stuff you already learned. So you're basically learning first level math like 10th time in a row. And so like having a structured curriculum that takes you from start to finish to go from beginning to getting a job, and you're showing exact information that you guys do at your boot camp, which is $15,000. So for $129, get access to you guys. Yeah, it's not, you know, in person.
It's pretty good.
But it's amazing. Even at $99, like I would argue a month after the special, it's still an amazing deal. So
yeah, because ours takes it from beginning, and then the things that you learn and even snippets that you build will be used later on the course. And like we'll say, hey, you remember that JavaScript function we wrote? We're going to use that again, you know, and we're going to use it again and again. And so we're trying to teach you about code reuse and how to develop all the way to the end. And I would say our projects at the end are kind of like in the mid-level range for as like you're a developer. A mid-level developer should be able to build these types of things. And so it's a little bit more advanced than junior, which is good. But we get you there to start out with, and then you're building projects that can get a job with.
Yeah.
So that's the whole goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think that it differs in terms of you're not going to learn the book version of HTML and CSS, right? You're not going to be like you're not going to learn everything there is to know about all of these technologies. You're going to learn what you need to learn to build the projects and apply them straight away. So you're going to learn a concept, you're going to apply it instantly, and you're going to understand like how that works in practice, not just like I've seen a million courses, and I know if you've got that many courses, Paul, you've seen the same. You go through that intro part, and you're like, man, this is boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's just boring. Where did that come from?
Yeah. You're just that is the future.
That wasn't me.
Right. It is. I mean, but it's true. It's true. You can't go wrong with .NET. But one thing I just want to say, because people ask me this question, they're like, I spend, you know, most of my time learning, let's say, whatever, React, and should I switch? And I'm like, if you already put that much effort into learning something and you're almost there, just get your job first, like you always say, Bobby, and then you know, continue. But if you're starting out, like, there's a reason I switched to full stack as a .NET developer, and that's just to make sure that I future-proof myself to be able to be hireable no matter what happens. And that's like something super important to keep in mind, you know?
Yep, definitely. Troy said he was willing to drop $2,000 at it, so on 129 was an awesome deal. So going forward,
we'll still let you, Troy.
It's kind of like, if you want to. But going forward, you know, at $99 a month, that's still $1,200 a year. So we're still, we know that's around the right pricing, and we know that's even cheap.
Yeah.
Because we've looked at other boot camp models for this exact same thing, and they're charging anywhere from they're charging like half the price of the course, or sometimes it's like $3,000 for a 2-month version of their course. So we know we're still on the low end of that. We know it's still a deal. So we know when new people come in, we're not going to feel bad about that being the price. We just know that right now, you guys are here and you've been asking for this, so we put it at $129. That's where it came
It's out there. It's ready to roll. All right, so tell us about Danny's contest. Someone won it. Do we know who they are? Or?
Yeah. So, So the lady right here, Rivera, won.
She won.
She gave it away to somebody else. So the two that did win, I forget the other guy's name. Hold on 1 second. It was I do have it here. It was Adrian. So Adrian won, and then Danny gave it away to somebody else, who I didn't have a chance to go and double check on yet.
Okay.
So you gave those away. So that's awesome. That was this morning.
All right. Awesome.
So Paul. So here's what happened. Paul bought the course. Back to my story. Paul bought the course, and we said, hey, thank you for doing that. You know, you have a YouTube channel. We've interacted with this stuff. Do you want to give one away too? So Paul said, yeah, but let's do it here now. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, by the way, if you guys didn't smash the like button, you guys got to do it. I mean, seriously, you're like 32 right now. That's shameful. How you guys going to do that? Like, you got to, like, I want to.
That's true. There's like 84 people here. What's going on? Yeah. Did somebody dislike it yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not
Please
yet.
don't.
He's busy today.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Gotta.
That's funny. That's really funny.
We have an individually named troll. We won't release his name, but
yeah, it's crazy. I had my first troll on one of my live streams, and I love dealing with trolls, but I realized that it's not good for the show. That's not what people tuned in. So it became like comedy hour, but I'm like, no, I got to stop. Now I ban people right away. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, you got to. It's difficult. Yeah, as soon as you feed the troll keeps coming back.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, just smash that like button, and then if you want us to answer a technical question, just put it in there. And so, Martin has a question here. I'm going to put this on.
Yeah, pull it up. Yep.
He says, when you going to make Coder Foundry version of Algo Expert after that Coder Foundry certification? So that's interesting. I don't know yet, but I definitely think that we, in the course itself, will have the top 30 interview questions with answers with examples from the projects that you write. And so that's our example. That's our response to things like Algo Expert. Now, if you're interviewing for a job and that's the way they interview, then I would hit up Algo Expert, and then eventually we will come back with some more computer sciencey type stuff as we roll out the rest of the course. But we don't feel like that's going to be a feature going in right away. Coder Foundry certification, we're talking about that, and there will be a certification, but you have to sit with an instructor to get that done and answer questions and something like that. So that is eventually going to be done.
You will get a certificate of completion though at the end of this.
Yeah.
Not to confuse the two. There's sort of like, we're thinking about, you get a certificate of completion, but there's also something where we can sort of like, maybe there's a service where we validate your work, we look at it, we give you feedback, that kind of stuff, and then you also get like a hey, we've certified this now. We approve that this is somebody who has met the bar.
Right.
That will validate.
So that would involve me sitting through a technical interview with one of the instruction staff, and then code reviewing the main 3 projects that you've built and answering questions about those. And then after you sit through that for an hour, we would give you a up or down no vote on the certification, and then issue a certification to you that you can put somewhere on your website or on LinkedIn or something like that. So that's coming.
There you go. Yep, definitely.
Cool.
Okay, so Paul, before we do any technical questions, how are we going to do the giveaway today? We're letting you totally rule this.
Excellent. Yes. Let's do that. It's going to be super
Hold on. Here you go.
What I want you guys to do is just in the comments, let me know why you want to win this course, or how you think it's going to change your life, and what you're interested in. And just, let us know in the comments. And then, at some point in the show, probably close to the end, you guys have to stick with the whole show. We're going to choose a random winner. So I'm not going to like you. Like if you say Coding After 30 is the best person ever, like you're not going to win because that's not how it works. We are going to pick someone random, but I do want to see why you want to learn and how you think your life is going to change after learning this stuff. So I'm just going to keep it that simple.
I like that. So we don't need the biggest sub story. That's not going to win. If you do have one though, that's okay. Yeah. But that's not going to make you win. But
And you definitely have to like the video and the stream more. I'm looking at the likes. You're at 55. You got to get it up higher. You got to get in another 20 points. I'm not saying that I have special secret software that allows me to see who likes what, but I'm just going to say, of course, you got to like it. You got to represent,
There's a reason we know who dislikes the video every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. There is a reason.
Get an alert to your phone.
We know who you are.
No, just kidding. But I do have wanted to kind of see if Kevin, you could pull it up. But the roadmap of all the things you guys learn in the boot camp, I just kind of want to put that on the page. To kind of show you stuff and give some thoughts here.
Let me pull it up in a new window. Hold on 1 second. Share. Let's do this one, and there we go.
Yeah, and
Cool.
the section that has like the different tech used, like SQL. That one.
Resize it a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go.
By the way, you have amazing instructors. Like
We do.
Yeah, we do. They're really good. And that's not me being objective. I mean, that first one is exceptional right there. That guy in that suit.
This guy? This guy?
Yeah.
He knows his
No,
stuff.
but Jason and Antonio have been here for a long time, and they're really good at what they do.
Yeah,
as far as like having empathy towards students, and then as well as instructing in a way that you can understand.
Ask
Nice.
any former Coder Foundry student. These guys never get bad reviews.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Okay, here you go. This is what you're talking about.
Yeah. So like, look at all the tech you learn, and JavaScript, Net, SQL, C#. So I just want to give you my brief story. I started as a React developer, which is great and amazing, but I knew at some point I wanted to go into full stack. But prior to getting my first job, by the way, I built a lot of projects with like React and using something like Firebase for your backend, which is like a Google service. And I did not use some of these technologies here. And that's one of the issues you have when you're learning from Udemy. You'd say you learn something that the instructor thinks is cool, but not something that might be able to get you a job. So when I got to my job, like besides, our backend being in C# and using that 5, our database was in SQL. It wasn't MongoDB. It wasn't like Firebase. And that's what it was. And that actually surprised me and did hurt me a little bit at the beginning. Luckily, I didn't get fired, but I do remember spending like 2-3 weeks really just trying to wrap my mind around SQL and databases. So what I like about your curriculum is you are literally teaching the stuff that current companies use, especially if you go the ASP.NET route. And, so I just wanted to kind of say that that's amazing. And so just seeing what's on this page, I know this is going to be an amazing program, because if you understand all the things that they're showing here well enough to be able to talk about it in an interview, I don't see how you're not going to get a job.
You will.
Yeah,
we see it every day with students.
Right.
And that's not us bragging. We're just teaching what people are hiring for. That's all. I mean, it's not like magic beans or anything like that. The one thing I will say is one of the sayings that we're adopting out at Coder Foundry is we do what's necessary, not what's necessarily easy. And so like what's necessary is you kind of got to know SQL. I know that there's Firebase and all these other things out there, but like when you go to most companies, that's what they're still doing. And so like just learn that, and then you can learn the other thing after you got a job, So that's kind of that's how it's all designed, is what's necessary, not necessarily what's easiest.
Right.
Cool.
That's it. Okay,
cool.
so if you guys do have questions, let's do a Q&A portion here. You guys have technical questions or questions about the course, that works too. But questions at all, throw them in chat. I can't queue them up like I normally can, so I'm going to kind of go, if I see them, I'm going to pull them up. But otherwise, if you guys see them too, you see something you want to answer, pull it up.
Okay.
Because you can.
And then if you want to super chat us, you can, and we'll see that. That will definitely get in Kevin's eye. And so if you super chat us, we'll see.
Yeah,
it.
that does still work here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that does still work here. So does somebody want to help Nana here with a bug management system?
So you go to learn.coderfoundry.com and we'll teach you how to build one. That's one of the projects that you'll build for sure.
There you go.
So, but other than that, I don't help with that on YouTube live show. Would be that's a different that's a different show, because like it's a lot to that thing.
Yeah, depends on what your question is. If you have a specific question, let us know.
Yeah,
if it's,
let us know.
Not too general, we may be able to answer it. Let's see. So you got a lot of things in there, Paul. I'm going to let you sort through the comments too.
I'm looking.
Pick your winner, by the
I'm
way.
like, this is going to be a full-time thing on this team right now. It's a lot.
Jose said SQL has always been a must-have. It's true. It has been for a long time, right? Even though we've seen these like NoSQL things pop up, it's still a thing that is needed. Here we go. Jay Reagan has a question. Is it possible to use Mac for .NET development without having Windows in the machine?
So Visual Studio Visual Studio for Mac is a thing, and VS Code for Mac definitely works well. For Visual Studio on Mac, that's not what I use. I'm running Parallels with Windows on it, but that product is getting better and better. So if you follow our course, our self-paced course, and all you want to do is run Visual Studio for Mac, it'll probably be fine. We just haven't. All of our examples will be in Windows. So obviously, if you know how to use the Mac OS, finding folders and using the Finder versus Windows Explorer, all that stuff will be different. The menus inside of Visual Studio will be a little bit different. VS Code is almost identical running on the Mac versus Windows. So.
Yeah, so if I could add to that,
I
use a Mac and I love VS Code, and I tried using the Visual Studio version on the Mac. It's terrible. It is getting better, but it is terrible in the sense that it does not support certain features out of the box.
Yeah.
And so I got to a point where I had to write a migration to import all my data to create that database, and I couldn't figure out how to do it in Visual Studio. It was just really painful. And then I think I read some articles. They're like, oh, that feature doesn't work here, which I was like, that's such an important part of building anything. Maybe I read something wrong. So my recommendation to you guys, use VS Code, get the .NET CLI installed on your computer, and do everything from the command prompt, and you'll get better doing command prompt. And they have a lot of tools that allow you to do like migrations and do work with your databases in your project. So that's what I would recommend. Don't use Visual Studio on the Mac.
Yeah, so for us, if you're going to follow our course, we're going to use Visual Studio, which all that has the built-in stuff. So like you're probably going to want to use Parallels and run Windows on it, or Boot Camp and just boot into Windows. Either way.
Yeah, and that's probably the best option. Definitely, if you have a Mac and you can run Parallels, run Windows and run Visual Studios for Windows. That is amazing. That works really well.
Yeah, because all of the examples, that's where you're going to see all the examples that we're going to give, all the video, everything we're going to talk about is that. Otherwise, we'd have to build the course 3 times. Somebody's going to, 3 times, because somebody's going to come across and say, "Can I do Linux too?"
No.
Right. Yeah.
You know, there's always going to. Come on, somebody in chats now be like, "When's the Linux version coming?" I know you're typing it.
Talk to Microsoft.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay. Here we go. So Matthew says, this is another course question. What content do you plan on adding to the course in the coming months and years?
Okay, so this year, when we come out of the box, you're going to have ASP.NET with C#, and there's going to be 3 main projects. You have Movie Pro, Bug Tracker, and you'll build a blog system, as well as 5 or 6 JavaScript-centric projects. The fall release of the curriculum will add on to that, and what we call horizontally, that you'll rebuild the Bug Tracker, the blog, and the Movie Pro in React and Blazor. So we'll release the React version and the Blazor version in the fall, and that will also include a deep dive into Web API, because that's how we're going to back in React and how we're going to back end Blazor with Web API.
Yeah, and I think that's smart of you guys to decide to add that to the course. Like, that's something that I didn't even think or suspect you guys were going to do. So I was like pleasantly surprised. But this idea of decoupling your back end from a front end, very important concept, which allows you to separate the two, which if you have to update one or the other one, it's just much easier. So super excited about that.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
And so for us, Web API gives us routing. It has security, authorization, auth already. So we're going to leverage all that, and then we're going to use React on the front end for our templating. So and then the same thing holds true for Blazor. Blazor client side. I couldn't get that out, but so that's kind of what we plan to do. And then in January of next year, or right after .NET 6 comes out, you'll see the Xamarin stuff come out. The reason we're not doing Xamarin in the first release is because we know that's changing.
Yeah.
So as soon as whatever they're going to do there happens, and then we're going to push that out and show you all the .NET MAUI type stuff, which means that Xamarin will target, as we understand it, and we'll see what they actually come up with, iOS, Android, Mac OS, and Windows OS. So you can build native desktop apps in Mac and Windows and Android and iOS all from the same thing. And so we'll show you how to build all those with Xamarin, or whatever they call it when it's done.
Whatever name they give it.
I think they're going to change the name of it, but we'll see.
Hopefully.
They haven't told me, but
Okay, Jamuna wants to know, how much SQL do you need? So this is a question just in general for you two then, for you guys. Like, as a developer, how much SQL do you use?
So I think you can learn most or 90% of SQL. It's not the biggest language ever. So, but you need to know insert, delete, and select for sure, and joining at a high level. I think in there you can also add store procedure development.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, everything you said you have to know, and also the whole way it works with the Windows environment or whatever that your environment that you're building your code base in. So we use, I believe it's SQL Server Manager. So when you have to be comfortable using that, because a lot of times when you're working with a backend, you're going to be like testing your code, and you're going to be going back to the database, and you have to be able to query what it is that you're doing so you could see if it worked or not. So kind of understanding the whole thing is important. That's where I got stuck, because I was familiar with SQL, but I was like, but how do I work in the Windows environment?
So like he's talking about more of the DBA type things, like where I need to go look at my table structures. I need to query table and say, I inserted a customer rec here, and that was my test. And like, I go there and look to see if it actually happened. Those are kind of things that you do.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Anya wants to know, what kind of feedback will we get from tutors? Technically, nothing.
Right. So we're going to have a Discord channel, and then we'll be in the Discord channel a little bit. We're going to have a weekly live webinar that's kind of like this, except it'll just be for the population of the students. And we'll answer questions during those live webinars. We won't answer every single question. If you need like live feedback from instructors, that's what the boot camp's for. But if you think you can do it through the self-paced and go through the information, then we'll do it. We will also take feedback from the Discord channel, and what you may see us do is answer questions and then push that back into the curriculum. So unlike when you're a content creator on Udemy, you can't really add to your course, whereas our course will be a living, breathing thing. Whereas if we see the same question in Discord 8 times, we're going to cover that with a video and add it as an addendum to the place that you're at. So that's kind of how we'll do it, so that everyone can benefit from it instead of just answering one question. So hope that helps.
Okay, MD Nabil, thank you for the question. Wants to know, do I have to learn a new concept or skills to switch from .NET Framework to .NET 5?
Yes.
How big of a jump is that? It is a jump. Okay.
Yeah. So like, this is way in the weeds, but like in general, the frameworks have changed, and so a lot of things that you sort of did this way changed in .NET 5. So for example, they went from full on into services and dependency injection. And so that's a new thing, a new pattern that you'll have to learn in order to build .NET 5 ASP.NET sites. But it's just different, and so there's a lot to know.
Did you have to learn a bunch of stuff at work, Paul, for this? Did you switch to this already?
Yeah, so here's the funny, it's not that funny. So I was arguing with one of the developers because he's more of the old school guy, and he's more familiar with just .NET, not .NET Core in general. I mean, he's pretty smart, but the problem I had with him, I'm like, look, .NET 5 is coming out, and I think we're kind of redoing our backend as a separate thing to bring it kind of more to the future. And I'm like, we should use .NET 5. And he's trying to use .NET, the older version. And I'm like, that makes 0 sense. Yeah, it makes 0 sense. Just because you're comfortable in it doesn't mean that we should build it, especially if we're doing a complete like thing from scratch. I could understand it was an existing project and we're like, oh, you know, this is going to be a pain. But from the beginning, doing the .NET 5 stuff, I think is important. And yeah, I had to learn a lot of C# because when I got hired, I mentioned this before, but one of the reasons I got hired is because when I was doing the interview, the guy's like, oh, you know, your React is pretty good, but are you willing to learn a new language? I was like, of course. And he's like, all right, start learning C#. That was like what he told me at my interview. So I went and started learning C#. And at the beginning, it was pretty challenging, just the nature of C# versus JavaScript. But I'm glad that, you know, like you guys made a convert out of me. So you know,
okay, cool, like, awesome.
C#, my favorite language.
Right,
my second favorite language. JavaScript number 1. JavaScript. I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's funny. Valentino wants to know, okay, with the ideal framework for a complete know nothing at all about programming, complete newbie, 39-year-old to become job ready learning on this course, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, afterlife.
Afterlife. That's funny.
No. We've said it's 500 to 600 hours content.
Yeah, I think so. That you're going to see that this is a massive curriculum. We teach it in 500 to 600 hours in the boot camp over 12 weeks. So we're spending 40 hours a day, 5 days a week. If you're doing this self-paced, I'm imagining you'll be doing this on the weekends. So spend every Saturday and part-time on Sunday doing it. Maybe Friday night as well. You'll get through it faster. I think it's going to take you a year. But you could do it in 6 months.
It's kind of what we're guessing, isn't it?
Yep. There's a lot to it.
Which is kind of why we put our initial offering out too at this point. We wanted to make sure that you have enough time if you are going to go through it to kind of do it.
To get all the way through it. That's why our initial offer is based around a year so that you could get through the program for $129. You could do it.
Yep. Oh, here you go. There's something you might be familiar with, Paul. Went to a boot camp for JavaScript. How difficult is it to learn C# after learning JS first?
I don't think it's any harder. I just think it's different. And so, like, and to quote Denzel Washington, there's nothing tough. There's just trained and untrained.
Right,
So, like, it's like once you know it, you're like, why did I struggle with that in the beginning? It's just different in learning like an object-oriented language versus an untyped language like JavaScript.
Yeah. So if you know JavaScript because it's C-based, and C# is C-based, making that transition is actually not going to be that difficult. The problem or the difficulty you will have is learning the ASP.NET framework and how that works. That's going to be the challenging part because that's completely different. And it's a funny story. Somebody else asked me once, why don't you use TypeScript? I'm like, well, because I like JavaScript, how it's untyped and you could do whatever you want. And my answer to them was, if I want to use a typed language, I'll just use C#.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's like, yeah, but it's funny.
So we'll get you through the framework stuff in our course, and like just from bare bones intro, that we'll start building C# projects in and teach you the language along the way, so you can understand how ASP.NET and MVC works, and then teach you the language as you're doing all that. So
yeah, that's awesome.
But it is good to know like what a for loop is, what a if-then statement is, conditionals, operators, all that kind of stuff translates from the language from JavaScript into C#.
Now, I have a question for you guys, actually, because you guys have many students. So what separates the students that succeed with a course versus the ones that don't?
Oh, good one.
I don't know, like if it's a good question to ask.
No, that's a great question.
People who will like it, the answer, and some people who won't. I'm I'm Russian, so for me, it's like suffering through stuff is, it's a normal part of living. So like I automatically expect things going to be difficult. There's no easy way, but just in your opinion, what kind of stuff did you guys notice?
So the ones that don't try to memorize everything and just accept what they do and build on and tack on seem to do really well. The ones that have to know every little thing right in the very beginning usually struggle with trying to memorize everything. And you can't memorize stuff. You have to just kind of realize, okay, this broad concept, I know I need a loop here. Let me go look up the syntax for a loop. And then I'll have some students that are just memorizing all the ins and outs of like a for loop. And I just want them to understand, like, you just know you need one, And I think learning the concept instead of the memorizing up front is, I think, what separates people from doing it.
Yep, and it can be about dedication too. Some people.
Yeah, you got to have grit. You got to know that you may suck at this the first week, and we have to tell students all the time. Like, our boot camp is a 12-week boot camp, not a 2-day boot camp. You're not going to learn everything in 2 days, and you need to give yourself time or permission to try, to fail, to keep going, and go through the process of learning.
Yeah, by the way, guys, if you're just joining us, we are going to do a giveaway to this amazing self-paced course that these guys have to offer. So let us know in the comments why you want to win, and stick around till the end. Smash the like button, of course, and keep those questions coming.
Paul, I'm going to have to bring you in every week. I love that, man. I feel like I'm
just going to have you in the wings. We're just going to have you in the wings all the time. But let's bring on Paul to remind you.
Smash that like button.
That like button. I'm waving my arms so you guys can do it faster. Like, it's just say the most ridiculous stuff, and people like that.
Oh, that's funny. No, that's true. That's true. You see it all the time. You go through these videos and like.
I'm like, yeah. So here's another thing. Like, so I get another question. I don't mean to like steal questions, but I think this is an important one. This idea of getting a job versus doing something freelance. And a lot of people, they try to get a job, they don't get a job, maybe because their portfolio is not up to snuff, maybe their resume is not written the way it should be, which was an issue for me, even though I knew this stuff at one point. So they think like, oh, I'll just go and start my own thing and I'll do freelancing. And so the question I get, like, should I do freelancing or get a job first? And anybody who owns a small business or tried freelancing will tell you getting a job is much easier. But I want to hear your thoughts about that.
I totally think getting a job is easier than trying to run your own thing. I contracted for years. I've worked in a bunch of places before I started my own consulting company. Just to let you know, I started programming in the early 90s, and my company started in 2002.
Yeah.
So I did it for 10 years before I took on doing my own company. And even then, it's like it's less about programming at that point and more about accounting and like
marketing, sales,
payroll,
stuff that you don't want to do.
You know, like taxes. So like all those things that you have to do is that's really starting up your own freelance thing.
It is.
But
it's tough.
I would say you can contract, and then you can use Odesk and all these other kind of services to try to build your resume out by taking on smaller projects. What I would say, if you're just starting out, only take on projects that you know you can do.
So I haven't tried Odesk. I'm sure there's better ones, but I did try. Now like escapes me. Upwork, very popular thing.
Upwork,
and I realized that I went and looked the average payout someone makes an hour. It's like around $15.
Yeah, it's a race to the bottom. Upwork is a race to the bottom. It's like Fiverr. Same thing.
It's a race to the bottom, and the people, it's probably like 10% or maybe 1% of people that make, $75 an hour, but majority of them are barely making $15 an hour. And the reason why is because it's, I guess, international, and there's certain people that are able to make $12 an hour and live like a king where they live.
Right.
I remember when I lived in Thailand, I was like, man, I'll make $15 an hour all day. I don't care,
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because it's a global market. That's just that's how it works.
Yeah. So I think that's one way you can do it. The other thing is just go direct sales, and that's the hard part. That's the hard part of sending out cold emails, LinkedIn, trying to find projects. It's hard.
You're not going to be good at. Chances are of you being good at all of the things are pretty slim. Like you may be a good, and it's the same with any freelancing, right? Freelance designer, freelance videographer, freelance coder, same thing. The skill that you have is a tiny portion of what you're actually going to have to be good at.
Yeah, and it's crazy. When you're just starting out as a freelancer, you are going to get some flaky clients that will actually not pay you. And by the time you realize that's going to happen, you wasted so much time and hours and effort. And you're like, oh, I guess I'm not getting paid today.
Let me clue you into that one, Paul. You can be a exceptional consulting company that doesn't get paid. that just from a company that has, $20 million in the bank. Like, we just decided not to pay you. Like, why? We just don't want to.
Wow.
Take me to court. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
It happens.
Yep. Esther has a question. Are we going to work with Entity Framework?
Yes, EF Framework will definitely be how we access the database. That's what we use. Cool. And it's kind of built in.
Someone wants to know if we're accepting Bitcoin as payment. We are not.
Not yet. We're taking Dogecoin, though. I'm just kidding.
No, we're not.
No, we're not.
Somebody already mentioned that. Look, somebody said Dogecoin, maybe. We'll accept stock of AMC, GameStop.
GameStop stock. We're looking for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Let me see. If I want to know where can I get some swag to represent? I actually have a thing for this because we're on. Do I have this here? Oh, do I? I thought I did. Hold on. I'm gonna go grab the link. There is a. Where did my links go? We do indeed.
We have a swag store.
Let me go grab it. Why are my links not there?
While you're looking at that, I'll ask another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see if I can find one here. How strong of a hold does .NET have in the field of AI, IoT, data science as compared to Python? Here's my feeling on this, and I've been saying this for a year. Python is the dominant language for things like data science, okay? It is, and for AI. However, what I do believe is when you start looking at ML.NET, Microsoft is trying to make this easier to do. So they're looking at all the things that you have to do in data science to make things happen. And they're taking those workloads and pushing them into Azure and then giving you a language to affect those workloads. So I think that's where it's going to happen. But right now, if I was going into data science, you absolutely need to know Python. I think that is the dominant language in there, and to a lesser extent R. But in IoT, there's a lot of things in embedded devices that there's other languages that aren't necessarily .NET at this point, even though .NET does have a solution for that. But there's other things that you probably want to pursue for that. But for AI and data science right now, it's Python. But I promise you that .NET is going to make it easier to do, and it'll eventually leapfrog Python. Just because that'll be seen as the legacy way to do it, and now the C# way is going to be easier to do. That's their goal. That's what they're working on. They're going to spend $100 million trying to make it easier to do, so that you'll run your workloads in Azure. So right now you can do speech rec all the way up in Azure, and it's fairly easy to do. They're just going to make it easier and easier. You can load your data and just pick the way you want to train it, and it'll train your data. So that's their goal.
Cool. Drew wants to know, how much Marvel expert do you need to be?
0. But if you do put Marvel characters in your thing and you're interviewing with me and you don't know who Scott Summers is and you have it in there, that's a bad thing. I'm just kidding.
That's funny. No, if you're going to use it, make sure you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I suppose I was going to ask you a question about it, and then you're going to be like, I don't know.
I don't know who Scott Summers is. Well, he's in your address book that you just showed me.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Let me show you swag real quick. Here you go. So we do. I put the link down in chat. You can see this here. The latest one is the one at the top there. We actually
double vision T-shirt.
A double vision. We have these coming in. They're still not here yet.
Ours hasn't come in yet.
As of here today or tomorrow, I think.
One
order got sent back because
right.
USPS.
Right.
But yeah, we have ours coming in. These are they're cool shirts.
We've also changed it to just say coder, which is one of the things we said instead of, and drop the word foundry. So if you just want to rep a coder T-shirt and say you're a coder, not necessarily rep our brand, I think this will be something that you can do. It's just gonna be called coder. So,
and we'll probably do some more brands around this too, and some more shirts around this kind of design as well. Some other just coder style shirts. We'll probably do that at some point here.
So it'll be kind of cool. There you go.
If you guys didn't smash the like button, smash the like button, and
smash it.
in 5 or so minutes, we'll do the announcement. We'll see who's going to win. We're getting there. But Bobby, I want to ask you a question, because this is something somebody asked last stream about why you recommend people blog about the stuff they're learning.
Ooh, yes. So I cannot remember the guy that was on here. It may have been Ben Patton, but it may have been one of our friends in there. But here's why I think you should blog about it, because it raises your profile as a developer. And I've known not just Ben, but there were several people that have interviewed for jobs, and the hiring manager read a blog article that they wrote, and that's why they got the interview, because they wrote about JavaScript or they wrote about something. And what it does, it shows you that you're committed to your craft more than anything. And it's another touch point that you can give out in the industry to allow people to find you, make you aware that you're a coder. And so I think everyone should have about 20 to 30 blog articles in their blog system.
Yeah.
And we give you in our boot camp, one of the things we'll do in the self-paced course and in the boot camp, we're going to give you writing prompts, and we'll say, hey, write about this week. And here's the things that you learned that allows you to write about that, and then we give them other ideas of things they could write about. For example, this week in the bootcamp this week, we're learning about writing using the template tag in JavaScript. And so we've hinted that, hey, maybe you should write about templating in JavaScript. And that's kind of what we that's one of the things that our example of you write something very useful to someone else. And if you teach a hiring manager something during you're going to get hired. You just will. So I think that's why you do it. Put it on LinkedIn, put it on Medium, DevTO, and you should have your own blog platform that you can push them to. I think is also a real huge benefit.
Now, I actually took your advice and I did start a blog, and it's terrible at the moment because I kind of have one, I think, decent article, and I'm not a writer, by the way. And the other posts I cheat, I just put as videos. But you guys could bring it up as an example. It's at codingafter30.com.
Yeah.
And it's just to show you, because I'm not a blog writer, and this is like something brand new, so the site is pretty barren. But my goal is to do some more articles. I think exactly the reason what you said for. An additional reason, by writing about something, you do learn and start getting a better understanding of what you're doing. And the one article that I wrote is the one with the form, so you could open that one. It kind of show an example for people to see.
Okay.
That one, that should, yeah. So, and you can just,
Love
that's
it.
just the format. Kind of like I have embedded code examples, how I went on doing it, and I basically just explained the process of how to do that.
That's
and it's most of it is images, so it's not as long in terms of writing, but I think it's something that anyone can do, you know, and I think
anyone can do that, you know, like it's perfect.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
this is great. The other example that I show a lot for this kind of thing is this one too, which is Flavio Cope's blog.
Yep.
Look what he has here. Like, he has an article on just how to use window.confirm.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, look at it. That's it.
That's
smart. He's got 1,000 articles on his blog. You know?
It literally does have. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
And writing about those things, he's literally reinforcing that knowledge into his brain.
Exactly.
And that's the secret. I think I'm gonna like steal that idea and do a bunch of how to use this.
These are all just exactly how to extend a class in JavaScript. Look, it's just like it's great stuff. It's a great blog. It's well put together. It's easy to read. Like, it's good.
And I promise you, what will happen when you get like enough blog articles out there that it starts getting into SEO, it starts coming up in searches, is that you'll get job offers from that. I guarantee it.
Yep.
Someone's going to tweet you up and say, "Man, I read your article on, you know, your contact form. That looked amazing. Are you looking for new opportunities?" And boom.
Yep.
You know, and you'll bypass HR, you'll bypass filling out an application, you'll just get hired.
Before the giveaway,
that's how it works.
Let's do some more likes. Sorry, I'm obsessed with likes, Bob. I cannot validate myself as a human being if I don't have enough likes on YouTube.
Okay,
even if it's not my channel.
How many likes we got?
You're trying to go for some like record on here. You're gonna be like, put it on your resume. Be like, I was on the video code fair. They got double the likes.
You've gotten a lot of likes before, I think. But I think, you know, this is just amazing. One thing I want to say, because I do get this a lot, and I'm sure you guys get it all the time, and obviously you can't help everybody in the world, but there's a lot of people that live in poorer countries where even spending like $12 is difficult, and we totally understand. And I think from the standpoint, why can't, like, at least like if I had a course, why can't it not be cheaper? It's just the economics of paying for stuff in US will not allow you to sell a cheaper course. Like, especially like when you think of people on Udemy who make money, they're selling a course for $12. They're selling like, you know, 100,000 courses, and they have that economy of scale. Like someone like, you know, and their courses are geared for beginners, so most people will buy and pay for it. Where this course is more from start to finish to take you to getting your first job. It's a more complete course, so we can't have it to be the cheapest course possible. And especially because there are people that will pay for what this course is worth, you know. But we totally understand. With that being said, something that I started doing, and I'll talk more about on my YouTube channel, so if you haven't subscribed, you can go to Coding After 30. But I want to do, and I think it's just good for a lot of other channels to do it, is to buy like Udemy courses for people that can't afford, because it's only $12 if you do. So I'm going to do like a one course giveaway once a month for someone from another country. Like you have to be from like. Awesome. You have to be in a position where you definitely can't afford the course. And I already gave a bunch away from my Slack channel, but you know, I'm doing it every month. But I think it'll be cool to extend, because you know, it sucks. I totally get it, you know, but you know, but at the same time, it is what it is. But I do want to do a small part to help out.
Maybe we'll donate to that too, in terms of we'll give you some more of our course to give away as well.
Hey guys, if you that'll be amazing if you guys do that. I'll always come back to your show to do it, because I love the interaction.
Definitely.
We got 93 likes, by the way.
93. All right.
93. I like. How many people are here? 113. Oh, we've almost hit the amount of people that are here.
Do it.
All right. So, what time is it? What time are we giving this thing away?
I think we might do it now. I think
let's do it now.
time.
All right, Paul, tell us who won, Paul.
Man, it's been very difficult. A lot of great stories, a lot of good, so I have to do it at random. So I'm just gonna scroll through my feed, copy and paste somebody, and paste them in a private chat here for Kevin to see, and then he could share the winner, or I'll announce the winner. But
yeah, let me see if I can find the comment. Got it. Let's see if I can find the comment. How long ago was it? What time was it, Paul?
that was a while ago.
Okay.
I mean, a while ago, like, I don't know, like 7 minutes ago. That's a long time in YouTube world.
It is when you scroll through comments.
So I went like randomly. The winners are Roy Shepard. So if you're
Roy
here in the
Shepard,
chat, send. I guess you guys have an email that you want people to send their email to, so you guys could, confirm and get the course out to them. But
yep,
he's the winner. If you didn't win, you heard it here. They might give away some more courses, and maybe. But the idea is that you got to pick someone random. Not everybody could be a winner, but that's the fairest way to do it.
That's it. So, so Roy, send us a email, info@coderfoundry.com, and we will hook you up with your account.
I was trying to find his comment, but I don't see it anymore.
Yeah, I can't find it either. I was trying to find it as well. Yeah, it's probably gone off the top of the... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So StreamYard doesn't keep all of the comments. It drops off after so long. So if it was more than 20 minutes ago, it's gone. But Roy, I don't know if he's still here. Has he said anything yet?
Hopefully Roy's here. He hasn't said anything yet. Roy.
Because if he's not here, we don't have an email for him to enter.
Okay.
So...
Roy, put a post in there.
If for some reason Roy isn't here and somebody knows Roy, let him know. But if for some reason he's not here and we can't give it away to him, we'll come back next week, Paul, and do it again.
Okay. Why don't we pick a backup? Let's pick a second backup.
No, because then that's like, no, we can't pick a backup. Because that's no, we can't pick a backup.
All right.
If he does, what I would do is if he doesn't come back the next stream that you guys do, you could say, hey, this is the person who I'm still didn't hear from you, and then go from there.
Okay. What was Roy's story? Do you remember, by the way?
He's just looking to switch careers, got a whole family, got a whole thing going, and so
I like it.
It's very good. But everybody had really good stories, and so I just had to randomly pick someone. Oh, Roy's here. He's here.
Yeah, that's
he said, thank you,
Roy.
guys.
There's Roy.
Yes.
We're fighting over it. We're fighting over it. There you go, Roy.
Yeah, so that's fantastic.
Cool. Yeah, congratulations, Roy. That's great.
One lesson at a time.
There you go. So yes, Roy, drop us an email, info@coderfoundry.com, and we will hook you up with that access to the course. Which, by the way, is not only just a free course for the year, but it's free for a lifetime.
Yeah, it's for a lifetime.
Once you're in free, you're always free.
You're always free, as long as we're offering it, and then it'll renew it free.
Yep.
I did guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I did get upset a little bit earlier today.
Why? Oh, sorry.
What'd you do?
Because you guys, Danny Thompson got to give away 2 courses. Is that the type of swag he has that he just gets what he wants?
We don't want to out.
He's an amazing guy. If anybody's going to give away more courses, it should be him because he has the following for it. You know what I mean? So I totally, But he's an awesome guy. I just tried to mess with you guys.
We gave Alex is giving one away too, by the way. So if you guys haven't been to his channel too, Tech Rally's giving one away as well. He has one on his channel. He has he's asking for, again, similar to Paul. He wants you to give you why you want to learn C#, why you want to take the course. You fill out a form, and he's going to pick somebody from that list too. So
his channel's like Tech Rally, and if you want to learn about
still fighting for subscribers,
right? I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, I figured if we both keep competing with each other, we're both gonna get up there. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But he does have the best voice, I think, for his streams are just so nice to listen to.
They're very chill, aren't they?
Yeah,
very chill. I feel very zen when I'm watching him.
And he does do a lot more prep work for his videos than I do. That's that's for sure. He definitely does a lot more stuff.
Look, you have a 1 in
only 16 people. So go to his channel.
Oh yeah. If you definitely that chances are high. I'm gonna go sign up twice.
Suck us out of twice. Yeah, I wonder, Alex, are you validating that form? Can we sign up more than once? I'm wondering if you validated your form.
I'm gonna
Oh.
test that theory there, Bobby.
He's gonna go get game now. All of a
I'm
sudden,
gonna
he's
throw
gonna
a
get
bot
100
on
new
there to
apps
do
today.
some signups.
Yeah. Or if that cross form validator is in there. So, like, you know, cross
The email will be Paul 1, Paul 2, Paul 3, Paul 4.
Strafe wants to know, wait, is the course $120 a year forever? I'm confused. So if you pay for the course is $129 per year forever.
Yeah.
So you
Forever.
get grandfathered in at $129.
Amazing
So
deal.
what we'll
Right.
do is we're going to go to a $99 model after launch. So as soon as when we're launched, it's $99 a month. But if you got in pre-launch, it's $129 for the year, and you will pay that next year as well, and the year after that, and the year after that. If you got it for free as a giveaway, you will get it free continuously.
forever.
It will auto renew at free.
It's a good deal.
It's a pretty good deal. I think that's a pretty good deal.
It's a good deal.
I think that's pretty good. Okay. And I put the link down below to you, by the way, for those of you who weren't lucky enough to win, but maybe want to get the course anyway. And actually, let me put that in chat too, just so you guys have something you can click on. Anything else to talk about today?
That's it, man. I think I gotta go teach class here at 1:05, so I have to roll out.
Oh, cool. Perfect timing then.
So
Anything else you've got to plug, Paul? Anything else you got going on?
I just, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. If you haven't subscribed to Tech Rally, check out his channel. And of course, check out my channel, Coding After 30. And I am going to start doing monthly Udemy courses giveaways. So for those of you who live in a place where maybe that's a tough ask, like definitely check out my channel and I'll start.
that sounds awesome. All right, cool.
Love it.
All right, well, I think that's it for the day. Thanks for coming in, Paul. Thanks for giving away a
Thank you
course.
guys. Always fun,
And
always a pleasure.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Really like
So,
chatting with you guys.
all right, and we'll be back on Tuesday. Good luck and keep coding, guys. See you later.
See you guys later.